Okay, thank you all for coming out tonight. We were in a closed session, so our meeting had opened. We have guests here. I'm going to ask the superintendent to make his opening comments.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm very excited to hear from our students in their presentation in a few minutes. But today I'd just like to extend my thanks and appreciation to all of our Windsor-Plainsboro teachers. Today is National Teachers Appreciation Day. And on behalf of the students and parents, members of the board, members of the community, and members of the administration, I'd like to offer our thanks and gratitude to our teachers and our staff for the relentless work on behalf of our students. Thank you to all of our teachers for the tremendous support that they play in the lives of our students. Thank you very much.
Okay, and now the student representative reports.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. May 1st was Commitment Day for seniors, so each senior arrived at school wearing college apparel. Although many seniors are currently working hard with AP exams all of last week and this week, the end is near. Senior prom will be held on June 9th, along with post-prom ending at 5 a.m. on June 10th, and graduation will be held on June 16th. On the first Saturday of June, One Acts will be holding their performance that they have been working on since January. It's a performance of 7 student-run one-act plays, all about 10 minutes long apiece, and each show has a student director and stage manager. Next week, a McCarter theater educator is coming to evaluate each play and give creative feedback to improve their performances. Sal's third fun run is May 23rd. Teams of 4 dress up in uniforms and compete in a race filled with obstacles, sports, and colored powder to raise money for the senior class. Competitors will receive Fun Run t-shirts upon registration, and some proceeds from the event will be donated to the charity Literary Movement for More. Relay for Life's final event of the year is on May 20th. North and South's Relay for Life teams combined for this event, held at North. Its main purpose is to honor cancer survivors. Orchestra's Trenton War Memorial Concert is this Friday. The North and South Orchestra and bands collaborate to encourage cooperation amongst all the music programs in the district. And lastly, as this is my last meeting as a student representative, I want to thank all of you for allowing me to have this position for 2 years and being such a good audience. By attending these meetings each month, I've been able to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into achieving excellence in the school district, and the future looks bright. Thank you.
Thank you.
Evening board. I'd like to start off by saying congratulations to Haley for making it these past 2 years and doing a great job getting up here in front of all of these faces and giving it her all. But first for tonight, North Athletics are strong as ever. The boys tennis team qualified for the state championships while also keeping a great record of 13 wins and 2 losses this season. Both golf teams are also performing very well. Boys with a 9 wins, 4 losses streak, and girls with 8 wins and 3 losses. Additionally, the junior Jacqueline Kai from the girls golf team won first place at the girls MCT championships. Student councils, mock beauty pageant Mr. North 2 weekends ago, where senior Adam Moore Pearson took the crown. Was a great success, making a good profit for student councils while providing a good show for the entire district. And as for the seniors, the senior prom will be held on June 2nd, being their last big event of the year. The Improv Club, this coming Thursday the 11th, will have their improv show. And simultaneously to the North-South Trenton War Memorial performance, the Freshman-Sophomore One Act Festival at North will also be taking place. As for academics, the first week of AP testing is finally finished, as arduous as it was, and the second week is well underway. The peer leaders are helping out the AP testers who finish later because of their testing by serving pizza if they miss lunch. Also, going off of peer leaders, Yellow Ribbon Week starts next week, which is a 5-period day raising awareness for the severity of suicide in our society. as well as making our community one where people feel comfortable in finding help. Finally, as the year begins to come to a close, many classes are assigning final projects and student favorite cumulative exams that are most definitely not to be confused with final tests.
Thank you. This being the last meeting of the year for the student representatives, on behalf of the board, I want to thank them for coming to us with their reports and the work they've done. And we have some gifts for you. A certificate. Stay by the... Oh, stay there.
At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Sherry Sizemore, the world language supervisor for the district, who's going to give an introduction to our teachers and student speakers.
These wonderful students here, I see how dedicated they are. They were all here early. They were practicing with their teacher. They're so extraordinarily well presented. You must be so proud. You must be so proud of them. They are wonderful, as is their teacher, Senora Ronan. And so it's my pleasure to introduce them. Our FLICE program, our foreign language in elementary school, is something we're very proud of. The students meet twice a week. And I think you'll be amazed at what they can do. And as long as I'm just saying this, I will tell you that 2 more of our fabulous elementary Spanish teachers are here tonight, Senor Cano and Senora Cano. So, Senor Ronan, you want to come introduce your students?
I just want to make sure that I thank everyone for taking the time and bringing your child in an evening event. The students start learning Spanish with me in September, so it's this year, and I call them my bebés. And we learn through role plays, through interactive games and songs and activities. So today we will have a sample of that, and I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Hola, we will present to you a skit about a student and his school supplies. Acción. Acción. Un niño se llama Rafael. Rafael dice feliz. Rafael piensa. Me gusta la escuela, me gusta la escuela, me gusta la escuela. Y mira el mamá. Hola, hola. Adiós, mami. Adiós, Rafael. Escucha las lecciones de la maestra. Sí, mami. Me gusta la escuela. Me gusta la escuela. Ne, pip, pip. 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 Rafael está en autobús y habla con María. Hola María, ¿cómo estás? Yo estoy muy bien. ¿Y tú? Yo estoy feliz. María mira Rafael mochila y pregunta: Rafael, ¿por qué la mochila es pesada? Yo tengo lápiz. Yo tengo vuelo. Yo tengo papel. Yo tengo libros. Yo tengo carro de juguetes. Carro de juguetes. Rafael, no juguetes en la escuela. Ay, no hay problema. Los amigos están en la escuela. La maestra dice: estudiantes, pon el lápiz en la mesa, pon el libro en la mesa. Yo no tengo libro. Estudiantes, pon el papel en la mesa. Yo no tengo lápiz. Ay, papel. La maestra, enojada y piensa: Rafael, asustada y porque Rafael no escucha las instrucciones. La maestra dice: piensa, Rafael, por favor. María ayuda y explica. Rafael abre la mochila en el autobús en la escuela y corre muy rápido. María dice: alto, alto. Rafael no escucha. Rafael, pon el carro de juguete en la mochila. Sí, maestra. Lápiz y papel. Por favor. Sí, Rafael. Gracias. Oneda. Now we will sing the song Los Pollitos. Los pollitos dicen pío, 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 cuando tienen hambre, cuando tienen frío. La gallina busca el maíz y el trigo, está sus comida y el resto vivo bajo sus dos alas, acurrucaditos, duermen los pollitos hasta el otro día.
This concludes our presentation, and I hope you enjoy, and thank you for supporting the program at the elementary level. Thank you.
So we invite members of the public for their thoughts on and reactions on on items on the agenda. Please give your name and address and hold your comments to 3 minutes. In English, please.
I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately, but those kids are really cute. I enjoyed the show. Jigang Zhang from West Windsor. I'm here to briefly comment on the upper level music program, as I have already had some communications with some of you, the board members and the superintendent and the assistant superintendent. According to the internal report published by our school district recently, a recommendation has been made that upper level music courses at the high school level should receive honors weighting. Students taking these courses are putting similar effort as students in other honors courses, and denying honors credit serves as a deterrent for enrollment. This recommendation can be found on page 5 of the internal report. I wish to express my support of this change, potential change. Below, I will list some rationales gathered from my conversations with many supportive parents and former students. Most of these opinions do echo the recommendation made in the internal report. The first one is from a parent. The Philharmonic Orchestra course offered by our 2 high schools is very rigorous and of a high standard. This is evidenced by the fact that in 2016, our district had 14 students out of the 74 students in the violin, viola, and cello sections of the New Jersey All-State High School Orchestra, which is about 19%, a commendable feat by the music students in our 2 high schools. This is a testament to the intense rigor of the Philharmonic Orchestra program, the high quality of the music teachers, and the hard work and demonstrated passion of the students in our high school's Philharmonic Orchestra program. The second one is from a former student and also agreed by several parents. The lack of honor status induced several of my peers to quit the program. Not always, but often, the kids who are the best academically are also high performers in music, so this hurt the program, especially since WWP curtailed option 2, so now kids need to drop orchestra to take history in school. This, what he meant was granting honor status would help keep music afloat. The last comment was from a parent. By the way, these are from many of the comments I received, but this is the last one. There are many current high school students who are continuing with music in their junior and senior years. Philharmonic Orchestra currently does not have honors weighting, and hence these students are at a disadvantage with respect to their weighted GPAs as compared to their peers who are not taking music and are using the class slot available to them to take an honors or an AP course. It would be very helpful to the students if the recommendation for honors weighting to the upper level music courses at the high school level could be implemented. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, everyone. And I have a question about the...
Give me a name and address,
Oh,
please.
sure. Sorry. Yang Xiao, 4184, Plainsboro, New Jersey. And I have a question regarding the budget, just approved budget. I think regarding the expansion of Morris Hawk. And actually, that question is for Ms. Alford. And just wonder how long, was the process from getting the information, getting the news, to proposing the presentation to the Board of Education. So how long did that take?
Okay,
school administration? Yes.
That's the end of the comment. But it's not a question and answer, so if you have a statement, we'll answer it when you're done.
Oh, okay. It's another question and answer session. Yes.
Yeah.
My comment is, actually that's my question. I don't know how long did it take, and I wish there could be enough time for the board to consider the budget, given the size of it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else? All right, so we're going to close the public comments. I think Dr. Ido wants to respond.
Thank you for the question. So if the question is specific to Maurice Hawk Elementary School and the addition that is being recommended at that particular facility, that's tied to 3 properties. It's tied to the Toll Brothers Meneely property, and that's split into both townhomes and apartments, as well as Project Freedom properties. It's brought to the Ellsworth Center properties, and it's brought to what we learned in August from the planning board meeting, was the concept plan for the Woodstone property, otherwise known as the Princeton Theological Seminary property. We learned of that in August for students arriving in 2019. So the time period is very short to when we learned of it to how we had to act. So we've worked with our architect, worked with the township staff between really September and the recommendation to ultimately come to the recommendation to the board for the board's consideration, for the facilities committees, working also working with our architect and the finance committee.
Okay, we didn't have any committees meet since the last meeting, so that brings us to administration. Can I have a motion on items 1 to 4? Isaac and Carol. Any questions on the administration items?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, there are no curriculum items. Can I have a motion on finance items 1 to 8? And, we have just you two, right? Yeah, so I need a motion. It'll be Rachel and Taylor. Any questions?
Yes. Abstain. Yes.
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 Which item are you abstaining from? Great.
Larry, I'm abstaining on 3A only.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm abstaining on 3A.
Yes. Okay, personnel, can I have a motion on item 1 plus we have 3, only 3, right? Yeah, 3 addenda items, and there's going to be a correction.
Turn to page 22 on the personnel agenda. There's an item for Rashna Sharma. We need to have deleted from this reappointment.
Okay, any motion on that would be Dana and Rachel. Any questions on personnel?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, I want to acknowledge some retirements for this week. Deborah Levinson, the guidance counselor at High School North, is retiring after 16 years with the district. Roberta Leverock is an elementary teacher at Millstone River, retiring after 25 years. And Harriet Brown, a secretary at North, is also retiring after 18 years. I wish them a lot of luck in the future and thank them for their time with us. Now can I have a motion on approval of the minutes? Taylor and Louisa. Any comments on the minutes?
I would point out that we're correcting an omission on number 11 from the April 25th. It's the reference to authorizing the third year, presently it says, of the food services management contract. It's the third year renewal of the food services management contract.
Okay. Those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any liaison reports? Any new business? That brings us to a second opportunity for public comment. 15 minutes will be provided at the end of the meeting for public comment. Each participant is asked to give her name and address prior to making a statement. And please hold your comment for 3 minutes. Anyone? Either one. You can go first.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Helen Lin, and I live in 46 Catholic Place. I'm here to speak against the Morse Park expansion project. Right now, I'm very concerned with the administration's method of decision making. It's more of the process of decision making than the ultimate outcome. So far, all the reasoning from the administration is based on casual observations and anecdotes. No comprehensive demographic projection and factual space planning is offered. It's true that new students arrive with the new residential developments, but it's also true that people are moving out with the negative pressure on house prices and the rising property taxes. Students are graduating and people are retiring all the time. We don't know right now for sure whether the school will reach capacity without a comprehensive study. We have asked the school for their accurate numbers, but so far we haven't got them. Unfortunately, I have observed a similar pattern in the school's decision to eliminate the 4th and 5th grade A&E program. Dr. Idaho kept describing the stress students experience while taking the A&E entrance exam, and cited a number of 120 students with suicidal thoughts and need psychological counseling. A friend of mine has asked for the school for documents on these 120 students, but we're told that no written documents was available to support this number of 120. It's still a mystery to us so far. My 3rd grade son has prepared for his podcast for the whole month, the month of April. I guess if he has prepared for the A&E entrance exam, he would experience less stress than he would experience for the podcast. Before the school eliminates the 4th and 5th grade A&E program, many friends of mine have approached the school administration, asked for their plan after the elimination. The school never gave us a clear answer. It was obvious to us at that time that no clear decision should be made on A&E without a plan for those students needing A&E. So far, from what I've heard from the 4th and 5th grade parents in the past year, a single teacher is teaching several levels of math in one classroom at the same time, while hearing complaints from overwhelmed teachers and confused students. I observed another similar pattern in the village school expansion project. The school spent $13 million on the project without voting by our taxpayers. And it's facing capacity issues again. It's very ironical that one reason given by the Morse Hall expansion project is that we don't have enough room in the village school. How come we don't have enough room after only 2 years of the completion of the expansion project? We recently heard that we're giving out $5 million of the Morse Hall expansion project just by going around the referendum. We as taxpayers deserve an explanation as to why we're giving this amount up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Todd Hockman, Daisy Court, Plainsboro. Tony, I thought you had former member of the board, and I thought I had heard that Larry might be retiring as well. I just want to thank him for his service and the incredible way he prepared budgets during my year tenure on the board, and just really to say thank you. Secondly, I noticed on the agenda that the board is going to close session to evaluate the superintendent of schools. The public may not realize this, but that is probably the most important thing that the board does. And I just wanted to thank our superintendent, who I think has done a brilliant job over the last few years, and wish him well in that evaluation, and hope the board is kind. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'll close that. Close the public comment.
Just for the good of the group, just 2 dates for everyone's attention. Tomorrow evening at the high school South Playhouse at 7 o'clock. Again, at South, the West Windsor Planning Board will be hearing a concept plan from the Howard Hughes Corporation. So that's an opportunity for the public to hear. We're expecting to be a 60 to 90 minute presentation by the Howard Hughes Corporation, followed by an opportunity for the public to come out for public comments about that expansion project. For those that are not following, that's 1,976 proposed units, 1,740 with school-age children. The other 236 will be age-restricted. The other date is this coming up Saturday at High School North between 10 and 3 o'clock. We have our first ever education, West Windsor-Plainsboro Education Foundation Innovation Fair. It is a first. There's over 140 student groups presenting at the Innovation Fair, as well as some outside guest speakers. There's a cost at the door unless you have advanced tickets. Staff and board members are allowed in with their IDs. But we ask and we invite the public to come out for what's sure to be a wonderful day for our students, our faculty, and our community. Thank you.
Okay, the board now needs to go into closed session, so I'm required to read the statement. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act authorizes boards of education to meet in executive session under certain circumstances, whereas the Open Public Meetings Act requires the board to adopt a resolution at a public meeting to go into private session, now therefore be it resolved by the West Windsor-Plainsboro Regional School District Board of Education that it is necessary to meet in executive session to discuss certain items involving, in addition to any other items or issues that will be identified in executive session resolution, please note the following: matters of employment contract interpretation, personnel issues as noted on the agenda, superintendent evaluation. Be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential will be made public as soon as feasible. The minutes of the executive session will not be disclosed until the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Be it further resolved that the board will return to open session to conduct any business at the conclusion of the executive session if necessary. And I'll tell anyone who's thinking of holding to stand by, we don't intend to come out and conduct any action after the meeting, so you won't miss anything if you leave when we do. All right, can I have a motion to go into closed session? Taylor and Michelle. Those in favor of going to closed session say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you everyone. We'll take a 5-minute break and then meet in the back room.